then we'll talk.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Susie here. I'd like to introduce you this lovely man from Kenya who has reached out to me from all the way from Kenya because of Facebook and because of following me on Facebook. His name is Duncan Nzangi. He belongs to the Light of Hope Orphanage. He runs the Light of Hope Orphanage in Kenya, and also it's also called the Light of Hope. It's a charity as well. There's a really big problem in Kenya at the moment. There's been a drought for at least 8 months. There's a huge shortage of water and food. There's employment problems. But what we're going to talk about today with Duncan, and why I'm introducing Duncan to you guys, is because he looks after an orphanage. At the moment, they have 59 children there. And I want him to explain to us. He's in a place called Masai Town. So I'm going to let Duncan tell you about the orphanage, about the problems that they have. There's big problems with young girls having education and not having access to sanitary pads, so they can't come to school. And the country's been in drought, so their families can't actually provide for them. They can't provide sanitary pads. The girls won't go to school, so they're losing out on their education. But I'm just going to introduce Duncan because he's just been having a chat with me, and he'll be able to tell you about it. So welcome, Duncan. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Please tell me, we were just talking firstly about the girls. Tell me about that you run the orphanage and you've been looking after the orphanage, and how many children do you have at the moment?
Yes, thank you very much for getting in touch to me and allowing me to speak to you. I appreciate so much.
You're most welcome.
Currently, we are running our orphanage with 59 children who are facing a severe drought in Kenya. And basically, the big problem which has come with the drought is the rain season has not been doing well for the last 2 seasons. So the drought has been running for about 8 months, whereby it has been very difficult for us to provide for the children with food and even water. Here, water you have to buy, food you have to buy, because the plants we planted the last season and this season did not mature. So we cannot provide food for the children. So the main reason for me reaching out for you is to look how possible can we help each other so that we can be able to feed these children. And I believe the children in this world, it's our responsibility, all of us, either locally, international, it's our responsibility. So I felt it's worthy to share with you and reach out. So that's why I came to your Facebook.
So I'm really glad that you did, because if you don't reach out here in Australia and the people that I have attached to all over the world, we don't know what's happening in Kenya unless we hear firsthand from someone who's living there, who's living the life. So I'm really thrilled that you've reached out and you can tell us all and teach us what's happening with you, children and the world in Kenya today.
Currently, our climate is very sunny. Right now is 32 degrees here, very hot. That means, and we don't have water, so you have to walk a few kilometers to reach out for the water so that you can have. We usually use cows to bring water and pay for it so that we can be able to manage to cook with the water and for drinking. So my main aim here is to speak about the challenges these children are going through. We have spoke about the food, which we have been running through friends who support with small donations. But since those friends are not enough, we have to reach out to other friends who can be able to support so that we can become one team. And at the same time, we have girls who go to school. Apart from my orphanage I run, have been going to different schools because the problems we have are huge. And you cannot keep everyone here. We don't have that capacity. But we strongly go to different schools where we are able to speak to girls and boys and encourage them to put more effort in their education and basically support girls with sanitary pads. And currently, we have been supporting them with reusable sanitary pads, which are washable. But currently, we have run out. And the last time we got donation for the sanitary pads was before COVID-19. That is year back 2019. So since COVID-19, things have been very tough, even running daily programs in our charity due to lack of financial constraints, which has been a big challenge even now.
And you mentioned to me also that because of a lack of education in some of the families, that fathers might go and buy sanitary pads for girls.
Yes. Now let me come there. Basically, a major problem we have is also poverty within the community, whereby you find the parents of these children are not educated. So you find when a girl needs a sanitary pad, it is very hard to approach his dad to buy a sanitary pad. Or when he approaches his mother, he doesn't have money because he doesn't work. And he relies on the father. And maybe the father does a manual work, which he can only depend on $1 a day or $2 a day. So it becomes very hard for this parent to provide for the sanitary pad because according to the money he's making, can only be able to provide food for that family. Most of the family, they have 4 to 8 children. So you can look at 4 to 8 children, raising them with a maximum earning of about 200 shillings a day or 100 shillings or 150. So that is the range where their brackets reaches. So you find most of the girls, they are not supported by their families to have sanitary pads. So when that period, that time comes, they have to remain at home for 1 week. Then after their meses are over, they can go back to school. So those are the basically things that happen through this girl. So you can see the huge loss he has incurred during that 1 week. If you count 1 week for every month in 3 months, that you find is 3 weeks. That's about 21 days losing you're losing some of the learning in the school. So it becomes very difficult even for this child to perform well. So I came up with the idea of providing the girls with sanitary pads so that we can be able to keep them in school during their time, during their special days, so that they can be in school, they can learn, compete with the male counterparts, and be able to perform well so that they can build their own future. So the challenge goes through from primary to high school. That meaning the target number I work with is 12 years to 19 years. Yes. So those are the major issues. Then at the same time, we are facing early pregnancies. The reason why you find most girls are facing early pregnancies is because of lacking such essential things like the sanitary pads. When he lacks sanitary pads, he will look for other ways to see how he can get the sanitary pads. Maybe he will engage on negative vices that will lead to pregnancy when she's young, because maybe she will approach somebody to buy sanitary pad, and the guy he approaches will ask for something that may be her body, and that body might result to pregnancy because they are not also wise to count their days. At the end of time, he will be pregnant, and you find he was reaching out to get sanitary pad, or he was reaching out to get food, or he was reaching out to get out of his family because he's facing a lot of stress, a lot of problems, and that makes her to run away. And maybe you might run away to a neighbor to know you are safe. And when you are safe there, somebody might take advantage. That has been happening. So you find it's a double tragedy. You have lost the school, and here you are pregnant and you are young. So it's a big challenge. And for us, because we know we could not help everyone, the little number we can be able to reach out, we can at least make an impact, change that person, and have a beautiful life in future. So that is basically what has been for us, and our goal has been to bring up responsible and active young people who can be dependable in the future. And also, he can look back the way he was supported so that he can support others. He can be our own ambassador to others. So we do it to make sure these things circulate. It doesn't stop on us, but as we mentor you, you also grow to mentor others to give them a bright future. So those are the major challenges that we are facing. If we speak about school fees and everything, those are huge issues, but we can deal with the immediate issues that we think can be dealt with. And if people come together with a good heart and a kind heart and with love, we can all be successful and we can all win. Touching one life a day is the most important thing, and it's a step towards building a better world for everyone.
Oh,
yes.
Absolutely, Duncan. I mean, gone are the days of, I mean, they say that, to raise one child, it takes a village. And through Facebook and social media, the world is a village now. And you reaching out to me so that I can share this to everybody that can watch it informs us so that we can help with money or sanitary pads or however you need us to help you in the best way. So just for the girls that you were talking about, I know that there's a lot of women out there that are friends of mine that are feeling this right now and would really like to be able to help these young girls in Kenya, in the orphanage, just the ones that you were looking after, just for them, because like you said, you raise them, it teaches them, you're modeling a certain type of behavior, so they'll be able to turn around and teach the other young girls who are behind them and younger than them how to actually grow up and survive and what not to do to get money. Because unfortunately, like you said, some girls are led in the wrong way and are taken advantage of. And because of a lack of education, they don't actually realise they're being taken advantage of. Do you have like sex education? So do girls know, and boys, do they know how babies are made and how easy it is to get pregnant?
Yeah, in fact, for the last about 3 years, we have been working towards sexual reproductive health rights for girls, that they can make informative decision of their own. And with that is where we have one-on-one and a group mentorship for the girls to support them and also distribute the sanitary pads. And as I have told you, since 2020, we have never had support of supporting the girls. So currently, we have a lot of girls who are out of school because they got out of school because they cannot afford even to have the sanitary pads. Some even can't afford to have school uniform. So currently, we are also working tirelessly to come up with a vocational training center whereby we can be able to accommodate these girls who have dropped out of school and maybe they have given birth early so that they can have skills that can enable them do their own business, they can do a startup, or those skills can enable them be employed in a company, because without any skill, nobody will employ you. No. Nobody will give you an opportunity to work. So we want to look in ways. What we are planning to start is having a fashion and design school where they can learn tailoring and dressmaking.
That's the first thing I had in my head. I was thinking sewing and hairdressing.
Yes.
Thinking I'm teaching them how to sew,
yes.
how to do hair.
Yes. Yes. Then hair dressing and salon.
Yes.
Beauty therapy. When they get those, they can be able to have something in their life. We have many who are out of school, so we are thinking of how they can be accommodated to do those here in the facility, in the orphanage. So that is what we are working on. And we are looking on how we can be getting second-hand sewing machines to start with, and the dryers for the salons, and even knitting for making sweaters for the children. So at the same time, we can develop the vocational school as part of a business center. When they do tailoring, the sewing, they can also do uniform. They can also and sell to the local community. They can also do small dresses and sell to the local community. They earn some money. So they train and work. That is what I'm looking at, because that will enable them have something, and also start having hope of life. Yes, I can train and I can work. So those are the things I'm looking at. So we basically teach them on all those things, and also gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is a big issue in African continent, and even in Kenya, and even in my village. So it's something I've been addressing through creating awareness, doing a lot of sensitization in the communities and even in the schools, whereby we have built different GBV, gender-based awareness clubs in 4 schools, whereby young people can share issues of gender-based violence, and they can learn preventive measures so that they can use them to counter gender-based violence. I think it increased more during COVID-19, and it has kept rising up, and due to poverty.
Can I just stop you for a second there? Something's just happened to my computer. 1 second.
Okay.
I can still hear you talk. It's a new computer. And it's just asked me to upgrade the Zoom, and I pushed yes. So I'm just going to continue somehow, because I can't really get out of it because I don't know how to do it. 1 second.
Yes.
I can disappear that. I don't know where you are. Hang on. You're still there, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find you. Oh, there you are.
Okay. Fine.
Right,
thank you. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So gender-based violence, you need to educate. So we have on this Zoom, we've just got 8 minutes left. So gender-based violence is very prominent, is it, in Kenya?
Yeah. And at the same time, we are trying to resolve through creating safe spaces for girls and women, where they can have their own, they can be housed at the center, where they can be safe. They can wake up and go to school and come back. The reason of getting them away from their homes is to keep them away from the perpetrators, because they might threaten them and they might harm them if they know they have something against them. Because cases of gender-based violence, which I put them like defilement and rape, they mostly happen in a close family setup, whereby the father, the uncle, the cousin, the neighbor are most involved in defilement or rape. So for us to make sure this girl is safe, we want to be keeping them out of their families so that if it's cases, we can be able to process them from where we are. Because when they are home, they are threatened, a lot of things, they can even be murdered. So that is another thing we are trying to resolve, although it's a lot of work, but we all believe what we do is what we desire to do and what maybe we have been assigned to do. So we do it passionately, and we do it to make the world a better place. When we leave a mark to someone, I think it makes our heart feel fulfilled, and giving someone a change and changing someone's life is one of the beautiful things in this life. So every day I struggle to make that change. And I am appealing to those who want to be part of this cause and this journey to come and support our girls, support our children, to be able to have at least a life they can smile about. We don't want to have all those big things, but at least have education, give them an opportunity, a platform to have education so that they can build their life and go back, support their families, uplift them from poverty. That is what can make our life beautiful.
And how can we support you, Duncan? What's the best place that everybody can support you? I know you have a Facebook page called Light of Hope. Where can we send funds to? What's the best place to donate money for?
Yes, I have a link which everyone can donate, and when you donate, that money will come directly to Light of Hope. So you only go through, there is where you can support a monthly, there is where you can support the money you want. The link provides everything. It's secure. It's an organization in America, which we have been working with it for several times. And when you go through after we are done, you'll see even the donations we have received. They are all listed there, who have given the donation. What we have done with the donation, they are there. So everything is already there. So what would be the most important would be, even though there are other ways of making even creating a crowdfunding that might target the project. If you are willing to do it, you can use GoFundMe, which is common in your area. That would also be, I think people also trust more GoFunding. They trust a lot GoFunding.
Yep.
And
the thing is you're going to give us the link to the organisation that I've already looked at that is legitimate.
Yeah.
This is a legitimate charity. This is not a scam or anything like that. I had a friend say, are you sure this guy's for real? And I said, yes, he is for real, and the place is for real, and the village is for real, and the people are for real.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yes. Some people doubt, and GoFundMe, I'm going to start a GoFundMe page straight away for you guys.
Yeah.
Also share all the information about the orphanage.
Yeah.
I know you've sent me some beautiful photos of some of the children.
Yes.
I'm going to put that up as well, and we'll put a link up for the organisation that we can pay through. I asked Duncan, everybody, if we did pay into the organisation that he's just told us about in the States, if they would get all the money, and the answer is yes. There used to be charities when I was a young girl, and you'd sponsor a child, and really the child never got much of the money, it just went to the organisation to pay all the stuff. So that's not happening with you, which is great.
That is not happening, and I think we always have a follow-up, and I think the charity has been genuine. It's a big charity, and it has done a lot. It has done a lot, even in the success of this orphanage. It has been supportive with all the volunteers we get, and even the friends we have been meeting. I would say Facebook is a great platform. I've met many different people with a lot of love. They don't know you, but they trust. I think their heart also connects. That makes them trust you. And at the end, they find out, yes, I'm on the right place.
Absolutely, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now we're going to run out of this particular Zoom, but I want you. We'll just get back to just basically click on the link and it'll come back in again, so you and I can keep talking. So I'm going to say thank you for telling us everything that you've talked about, because I'm going to pop this recording up so everybody can see it. And then I want you to call me back so we can Zoom again, because I've got some ideas of other ideas to try and raise sanitary napkins and get companies to maybe come on board and support you and do charitable things like that. So I've got some big ideas now that I've spoken to you more that I'd like to speak to you about. Beauty queens, big industry. And I happen to be one of those, so I'm going to talk to you about that. So I'm just going to say on behalf of everybody, thank you, Duncan, for sharing all that with us, because I know there's so many people out there that want to support young girls in all the ways that Duncan has told you. I'm going to put the link up so that you guys will all know where to contact him and how to donate money, and I'm going to start a GoFundMe page. And we've got about a minute or something to go before my Zoom runs out. I'm going to have to upgrade the Zoom as well. So thank you, Duncan. When this runs out, please call me right back. So I'm going to say goodbye now, and we'll chop the Zoom before it runs out in the middle of a conversation. So it's over to you. Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Duncan. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.